It has now been 9 months since we decided to become land-based, after finding out that a family member is very sick. We found a farm where we can live and build our dream boat, and have already lived here for 7 months. We also bought a sailboat so that we can go sailing during the building process. We've seen late summer, fall and winter pass by, while we've been preparing the barn and building a mold for the boat.
Ah, nice!
And in the last episode, we finished the stem and lifted it in place.
Okay, shove it.
We made it! It looks so cool. We have the first actual piece of rung 3 in place. Hoven, det är din hov ju.
Jag gakade denna.
Har du saknat den?
Looks okay in here.
As we left it.
Yeah. Looks okay.
Smells a bit like it does in a basement sometimes. It's Easter and we're gonna stay on Articos for 2 nights. So it's time to prepare for the sailing season. So we'll do a little bit of spring cleaning outside and inside these 2 days. And it's gonna be nice to just stay here again. It was a while.
Jag gakade denna.
Har du saknat den? So first thing I notice now, it's not great. You see this big stain and it's all damp, so there's definitely been a leak from somewhere here or in there. Oh, we should have lifted this mattress up. Oh, look at all there. How did you sleep?
I'm okay. It's a bit cold now in the morning. It's been freezing outside, so right now we have 13-14 degrees in here. Still okay, but
Where you are, it's a bit warmer
yeah,
when you're standing up here in the...
yeah, that's the problem.
boat.
All the heat goes up to the roof.
Your feet are
My feet.
cold down in there.
Yeah. We should have had what do you call it, sleeping bags. Then it would have been a lot better, I think.
Did you sleep well?
Yes.
Vera and I, we slept in the sofa. was a bit easier than to crawl into the forepeak. The sofa was a good size for us. It was okay. I think it's actually wider than the beds up front. We have blue skies out today. I think it's going to be up to 12 degrees today, which is really warm for what we had so far. So, we're gonna start the engine.
Yeah.
See if it runs. Kom igen, heja, heja! Heja, heja, heja!
$1969 and still running strong, or still running.
Yeah, I wouldn't say strong.
No. Yeah, it's still alive.
It's pushing on.
Yeah, but it's okay on an old boat like this to have an old engine, I think.
Do we need to do anything specific before
No,
we go sailing?
we might change the oil because there's might be some condensation in there, so maybe some water in the oil. So
We walk to the other side of the river, where the town center is. Aarhus is a cute little town, and it's a popular place to come and visit over the day. It's known for the Absolute Vodka Factory and its ice cream.
Men jag måste kucka då. Hej. Jag heter Heja. Jag bor på kacken. Mamma dör borta. Pappa gör nätten. Han dör inte. Adå!
Då säger man klart slut.
Gott ut.
we were supposed to do a spring clean today on the boat, but it turns out that the water on the docks ain't turned on until next weekend. So we just take it slow and doing nothing really today, which is nice too.
Färdiga. Gå! 1, 2, 3. Fortare det snabbaste du kan.
Not far from the marina lies another boatyard, and we went there to say hi to the owner of Yggdra, but unfortunately he wasn't on board.
Du skriver?
Nej.
Du ritar?
Ja.
Är det kallt? Vi Vill du bada? Vill du det? The engine doesn't want to start. The batteries are too low.
So the next weekend is the last one to have swapped places again. This is just a winter place for us since they have turned off all the electricity on all the other docks. So that's why they have gathered all the winter boats that want to stay in the water on this dock. But now it's time to move back to our original place in the marina.
We'll meet you on the other dock. Good luck. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Kom! Ska se hur det går för pappa och Articos. Det gick ju bra. That went well. Oh, I have sun right in my eye. Another sunny morning. We just left the boat. It's back there and it's right slip. So we'll keep her there until we'll go sailing. I hope we can go sailing in May, that the weather just now gets better and better and warmer. We plan to go to the island of Bornholm, which belongs to Denmark, but it's situated southeast of Sweden, you can say. Vera is on her bike. Let's say bye bye.
Nej!
Bye bye, Articos. See you soon.
So, since it's almost time to start ripping all those cedar strips, I've done some smaller updates to our very old rip saw. I have made an extension here for the fence from a piece of hardwood, just to make the support length here a bit longer. The original fence on this saw is very sturdy, but it's pretty short. It's only about this long. So I just connected this piece on top of that, and as an addition to this, we will also use on and off magnet up here at the far end to give it support up here. But even without that, this piece of wood is very sturdy. It's really dense wood and it's straight. So I think this will help us a lot, keeping the cuts straight. We have also ordered 2 magnets, on and off magnets, 100 kilo each, which we will use together with rollers on top of them to give us some inward pressure here against the fence when we're ripping. That will also help us keeping this cut straight and also a bit safer, I would say. I also made an outfeed table, as you can see here. Pretty simple, just a sheet of plywood really, 2.5 meter long, and the total length here now is 3.6 meters. So we'll be a bit more stable now when we're ripping the wood, especially on the outfeed side for Malin. But on the infeed side, I was thinking of getting an extension here as well, but it's a bit more complicated on this side since we have this mechanism for the fence. So I think for the infeed side, we will just use the rollers, and I think that will be fine. I also made this adapter for the dust extractor so we can connect the round hose to the square hole that we have in here in the machine. This will be a lot better than having nothing, but as you can see, the surface area of that hole in the machine isn't big, but I think will make a big difference of having nothing and having this. I just made this from wood. Maybe not the most perfect material for this, but I think it will be okay. I will coat it with some epoxy so it won't crack, and then we'll see how long it will hold up. A lot of people have reached out and wanted to make a print of this, a 3D print, and that is probably a better solution. So I think maybe we will go with that as well. But this was the quickest thing we could go with here on site to get something. And a quick note about having a power feeder. We still haven't given up the thought of having that, and we're looking for it, but we still haven't found one in our vicinity. So we're still looking to find one for a decent price, or if we can borrow one, because that would be really nice. But I think with these rollers, having the inward pressure, will at least make the operation a lot better than not having them. So I've been all over this pile of Western red cedar now, marking and measuring each and every piece here to find out the best possible way to rip each and every piece to get the most possible out of this pile. We're missing a little bit. The hull, the surface area of the hull, is around 95 square meters. And it looks like, from my calculations, that we can get around 88 square meters from the wood we have here. And the amount we're missing is around 2.5 planks like this one here. 300 by 100 and around 5 meters long. So it's not a lot. It's around 0.3 cubic meters that we're missing. And I also did a calculation on how much we would gain from ripping all this wood with the bandsaw instead of the circular saw blade rip saw that we're using now. And the gain would be around 0.7 square meters on the whole hull. And since we're missing around 7 to 8 square meters, for us, I don't think it's worth the extra cost of hiring or renting like a mobile milling bandsaw or getting a larger bandsaw. Because the bandsaw that we have, it's not big enough, it's not strong enough to do the kind of ripping that we're doing here. So we can't use that. So the hard reality is that we need to get some extra Western red cedar. And as you all know, this type of timber is very costly nowadays. If you buy Western red cedar in the grade that we have here, in Sweden right now it's around 88,000 Swedish kroner per cubic meters. That's including VAT. So I don't know, that's around $8,000 per cubic meters, something like that. So very expensive. The good thing is that we might have found a place where we can get that missing timber at a reasonable price. But I have to get back on that because I don't know all the details yet. So more about that later.
Let's start ripping some cedar. I push in plastic wedges to prevent the plank to pinch the blade.
There are some tension in these planks, that's why it's so hard to push them through. But this time it went a lot better than the last time, much more under control.
But we had some problems with the drive belts that were slipping when the blade was under heavy load.
There's supposed to be 3 of these belts, but there's only 2. You can see there's space for 3 of them, so we're missing 1/3 of the surface area on these belts. And as you can see, there's not a lot of tension either on these, so it's really just the weight of the motor. But that we can adjust so the motor sinks a bit further down. So I will try that now, just to lower the engine on the motor, see if that helps.
Once the width of the plank was ripped, we turned each of those planks and ripped them down to the final dimension. Later on, Johan took all the strips through the planer to get the correct thickness.
So here you have it, the yield from yesterday's ripping and planing operation. 170 meters of cedar strips. I think the quality is great. It looks really good, the wood. There's not a lot of knots or anything like that. So I'm very pleased with the quality. This amount is about 7.5% of the total amount of strips that we'll need for the hull. So we still have quite a bit of ripping and planing to do. But I was actually surprised that we managed so well yesterday, doing this ripping with the big planks, even without the power feeder. So I'm not so worried that it will be too much for us to rip all those planks on this saw. I think we'll do just fine. And we won't rip all the strips at once. I think I will actually start by planking the shear line now with these planks, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe to our channel. And we would be so happy if you want to join our Patreon crew.